times, saying that you have brought dishonor and shame on your family, on your religion, on your faith. They have been persecuted. They have been cast out of their homes. And Jesus said, if you are not willing to suffer that for me, if you love your life more than you love me, it means you're not going to be able to follow me, because when you follow me, it means sometimes you're going to bring shame and dishonor on your family who rejects you. You're going to dishonor them. You are, in a word, going to hate them. If you are not willing to hate what is dishonoring to Christ, then you cannot be my disciple. Every Muslim knows if their son becomes a Christian, that is a great shame on the family, on the religion. In fact, it's so shameful that you have in your Sharia law laws that would allow the unaliving of those who dishonor Islam and commit shirk. So don't tell me if you have a law that you could unalive people because they embrace Christianity or leave Islam, that it doesn't involve bringing shame and dishonor and hate upon the religion. This has nothing to do with Roman soldiers. It has everything to do with the Middle Eastern context of how we define love and shame, dishonor and hate. If you understood the context, which it really isn't that difficult to pick up, especially if you live in a Middle Eastern or African context or an Asian context. In a Western context, we don't really understand it. We like to focus on the comparative love because it's easier to say, well, I just have to love Jesus more than my family. But we say that because most Americans, most people in the West have not suffered violence for accepting Jesus Christ. They have not suffered what it is to bring shame and dishonor on their family when they follow Christ. Again, Jesus said, I come to bring a sword. I will bring division into families. Every former Muslim who became a Christian that we work with has brought shame on their family. They hate their father and mother actively by their honoring of Jesus. And remember, he said you even have to hate your own self. There's a gentleman that I know here in West Africa who, when he became a Christian, his father-in-law told him, because you are a Muslim and you got married to my daughter and now you're a Christian, you've lost all legal rights to your wife and your children. They took his wife, they took his children, and for the past 30 years that he's been a Christian, he's been separated from his wife and his children who he loves. He had to hate his wife and his children and his own life also. He had to deny himself his love for his children. He had to deny so he could follow Christ. You understand there is a cost. There is a price to be paid for following Jesus. Stop thinking you know what the Bible says when you don't even follow Christ. Submit to Christ, and then you'll understand there is a cost to be paid. There is a price to following Jesus. Then you'll understand how to properly frame the context. Meet a Christian who suffered this sort of shame and indignity. Then maybe you can come back and talk to me about how you just don't understand the Bible.
So, does that make sense?